So we are now on page 15, step 7 of our pattern workbook, and we are going to piece together the tree trunk section. So we have 2 of the little J pieces here and here on the ends, and in the center is the larger I piece, and these 2 cream tiles are H pieces. So you are going to sew those 5 pieces together just like a traditional quilt block, 1/4 inch seam allowance, scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is what you get. And press all those seam allowances towards the brown. All right, your tree section, once it's all pieced together, should equal 9.5 inches. Mine is very close to 9.5. It's maybe just a thread or 2 big. If it's very big, you can trim the edge, maybe split it off of each side. If it's, say, a 1/4 inch, you could take an 1/8 inch off of each side. Mine's pretty darn close. I'm going to line that up. I might just take a sliver off just so they're 9.5 inches. We are still on page 15, but now we're on step 8, where we're joining all these units together. The one thing that I want you to be careful of is that at the top of the block is the G unit, this cream piece, big cream rectangle, and then they go in alphabetical order after that. So we have A, B, C, D, E, and F go below G, which was at the top, and then at the very bottom is our tree trunk section. So they don't totally go in alphabetical order, just our paper pieces go from top to bottom, A to F. And the way I figured that out was that I looked at the picture on page 15, and at the top was the smallest tree section here, and then at the bottom was the largest tree section here. So that's how I just figured out that it went G, A through F, instead of A through G. So here's how I went about joining my pieces. So this is the G onto the A. So this is the top section of my unit. I put the right sides together. I sewed on my paper side. And again, I reduced my stitch length to 1.5 before I sewed this. And I sewed right on that line. And then I took my B and C units together and I put those together. Now, when you put these together, be careful which side you're sewing on. You know, it's easy to get it turned around once you get to the machine and sew on the opposite end of what you want to sew on. So again, right sides together. I used clips instead of pins because the paper is a little bit bulky and I felt like it would sort of distort it a little bit. And then when I sewed on this side right on that line. When I flip it over, in a perfect world, my stitching would still be right on that line. As you can see, it's not perfect. Not there, and then down here it's off a little bit also. But once this is opened up, it'll be okay. It'll be just fine. And the beauty of paper piecing is that you get perfect points. Isn't that great? So continue sewing your block together with your little strips here. Again, being very careful that when you join these ones together that look similar, that your lower letter is on the top. So these two will go together this way. So this is, of course, G, which is the oddball, and then A, B, and C. So I'm going to join them together in pairs and then start joining those pairs together. One more quick little tip. When I was joining the F piece, which is our bottom tree section, to the tree trunk section, again, I didn't want to put pins in here, so I put my clips at the end, near the end of the paper here, so that when I sew over here, they won't be in my way. So I have one on that end and one on this end. Alrighty, and here is our block all sewn together. Isn't that lovely? Really makes a nice tree block.